Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of the BizTech Show powered by Value First. This is your host Jayesh Mathur. Today we have Mr. Vijayant Dhaka with us. Vijayant is a senior vice president here at Value First. Welcome to the show, Vijayant.
Hi, Jayesh. Thank you very much for organizing and thank you for the platform.
Right. So we'll just jump right to the topic which we are going to discuss today. So today we are going to talk about the importance of understanding consumer behavior and how data adds relevance in shaping customer messaging. So let's start with some recent trends which we have seen, right? So according to a recent report, between March and August 2020, 1 in 5 consumers have switched brands, and 7 in 10 have tried new digital shopping channels. The retail sector has experienced 10 years of growth in digital penetration in just a matter of months. But the resulting surge in data has not provided marketers with substantially better understanding of their customers because their custom companies' outdated data modeling isn't able to capture these shifts with the necessary granularity and speed. So, Vijat, what's your take on this? How do you think companies should work on creating future-proof data models?
So, Jayesh, very valid question for all the brands and marketers out there, even the guys who work in data and managing the customer journey and also handling the brand spend for their companies. It's very important to note here that often and there are a lot of different opinions and point, but I'll stick to my personal opinion is that we lack the we have so far not realized the power of having a right data modeling in place, and this starts very early, right? And I'll come to that in one of the next slides. But I'll give you certain examples, and these are all personal examples, by the way. So often you would have seen a message coming from a big brand or a company which you would be assuming or at least hoping for from them that the data would be in place or would be the communications would be going out in a near real time fashion. So examples like I just paid off my, let's say, phone bill or a credit card bill, but I see that I still keep getting these calls and communications from the brands at least for next 24 hours, which means the data is not the integration of data is a challenge, and it's not going back into the system in a near real time fashion. So that's very annoying as a customer. Then payment reminders, they keep, even after you have paid. So things, it feels very inhuman. This is all very machine driven. There is no human touch here. Now I'll quote another big car brand. I've sold this car almost 7 years back, and I moved from Delhi to Bombay. But you won't believe, even today, every 6 months, I must give it to their contact center. Their data is in place. They give me a reminder every 6 months. But I no longer own the car. I no longer live in Delhi. I moved to Bombay 5 years back. So the data you can clearly see is just not updated. And this is when I keep telling them every call that I moved to Bombay and I don't own that car anymore. So things like these, and then renewal reminders. Imagine so much that we can do if we can handle this flow of data and communication and merge both together. It would be remarkable. I mean, there would be so many thoughtful marketing campaigns. You can't even imagine. The limit is just it's. I mean, the scope is unlimited for all of us. And then one-on-one messaging communication is still missing. I mean, brands are doing it only for a couple of during couple of customer conversations or more, but I don't think so if even more than 50% of customer communications are being driven by data. It's very massy today. I mean, there is no personal touch, there is no personal connection. While we keep talking about one-on-one messaging, and brands have moved to that level where using technology they can build a one-to-one marketing, customer connections, but that's just not possible. We haven't. I haven't seen it very often. See, yeah, coming to this slide, and we are at a very different stage uh, of of the entire ecosystem of marketing in India, and also when it comes to managing the data. What we have seen is the focus has extensively been on the acquisition and not the healthy engagement or conversion. That's where we are finding it challenging today. uh, I'm again quoting the MMA and the EY report released recently this year, early this year, that only 29% of organizations have extensively used data attribution. Now imagine the scope that we have. It's immense. So
Right.
where we are, Jayesh, we are far from capturing the behavioral pattern. We are far from capturing the preference. And I'm even talking of the step one, when we acquire the data or when we capture some data about a customer or a prospective customer.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And this brings me to my next question. How should businesses make their modeling more precise then? And how marketers should improvise with the situations and their consumers?
See, there are multiple solutions available in the market. There are some data platforms. We all know. We keep talking about it. We keep hearing about it. We keep listening to the conversations at multiple events and news and blogs and the industry experts talking about it. But I would say we should take a step back. And it's very simple. Let's take a step back. Again, coming back to the point, the problem starts with the data acquisition in the right way and the way we capture the personal information today. What do we do, right, Jayesh? You would have signed up on a lot of websites or app businesses, and let's say you also purchase something and you're not even on the subscription list yet, but let's go by it for now. What do we capture today? If you're signing up, say, let's say for loyalty program of a hotel chain or an airlines, uh, they ask for your mobile number, your name, your email ID, your gender, your city, maybe your age, and that's it, right? I mean, what after that? So there is no effort, there is no genuine effort being given to the step one, which will lead us to the step 10 and the entire journey within that window of entire customer communication, right? So the journey is it's very broken. So what we do is then we move on to the next stage. What is that? Let's say you're shopping on an e-commerce site, then you buy something, right? Now this is where you actually are converting as a customer. And what all details do we capture here? Let's say some product that you bought or some category, let's say shoe, your PIN code, the order value of the order, maybe your address, yes, for delivery, and what else, right? So even at that stage, we have not still made an effort to capture more about you or get to know more as a customer. So there is no connection being built here. And then what happens next? Do we have enough information with us? I don't think so. What we do then, I mean, brands keep getting into this predictive analysis or behavioral model where they use your purchase history as the entire source of truth. But it could be very different, right? I mean, you just bought a running shoe. Now imagine, when would you like to go for your next order? Let's say in the same category. I've seen often the same kind of shoe or relevant shoe or sports category being pushed to me through multiple ads through programmatic or even otherwise, newsletters and SMS everywhere, right? Wherever I go, they chase me literally with the same kind of category again and again. And by the way, I mean, the logic says if I'm buying a shoe today, at least for 6 months, if I'm a regular runner, right? I mean, at least for next 6 months, I'm not going to buy another shoe. Yes, could be 10% audience, but not more than that. So that kind of intelligence is something that is missing today. And more often than not, we rely on the data of purchase history that we have today. I'll give you an example. All right. I'll give you an example of, let's say you go to one of the the website, you OTAs, or you directly book a hotel room. You're going on a vacation. Uh, Except for how many people are traveling, what is their age and the name, I don't see any other information being asked or captured. Now, I understand the brands may take care of their overall consumer experience while signing up. So they may shy away on from bombarding with all the personal information they would like to gather now. So there could be multiple touch points. I understand that. They could send a follow-up communication to you, either over email or SMS or WhatsApp, ask for further preferences. Imagine, they're setting the expectations right. You're traveling to a new place. Now you do your own research about weather and good places to eat at and go out and what to do, what not to do, and how will the entire, like what are the time zones, everything. Imagine the hotel reaching out to you and sharing the same information with you. How valuable would it be? And more importantly, what kind of customer experience are they delivering? This is remarkable. We don't see this happening often, but somebody should take the lead. And I'm sure there would be brands who are doing it. But 90% of the brands or communication that I get today, maybe I'm not following the right brand in that case. But yes, they do not do that. Let's accept it. Maybe they could have asked you for your room preference. A room with a balcony, room with a sea view, room with a hill view, room smoking, non-smoking, everything. While they ask most of this information at the check-in time, they could have been so proactive. Let's say you booked this hotel 15 days before your trip actually started. They had entire 2 weeks to communicate with you in the right way, to build that connect. And also, by the way, it does convert into loyalty and also converts into long-term business. Preferences like food allergies, things to do around the property, the booking, how are you managing your commute time from the airport or are you driving, or how is it going for you? Then, today's situation, RT-PCR, right? While traveling in and out of a state, there are certain guidelines. I've seen very standard guidelines coming in from the airlines, but not otherwise. So things like these, world has definitely changed. And it has been ever changing. It's just that in last 1.5 years, the pace of change has been really, really different from what we have seen earlier. So maybe we have covered. I mean, I don't know. I can't define the timeline, but yeah, maybe we did what we did in last 1.5 years as brands. We did what we were already planning to do like 5 years from now, or maybe 3 years. I'll give you another nice example, but yeah, I mean, Jayesh, if you want, I think you had another question to ask for the audience.
Yes, exactly. So, and you already mentioned that, and that has brought me to the final point of discussion for today, is that customer engagement tactics has changed in this era. And I'm saying this era because post-COVID, the era has changed. Businesses have revised their models. Brick and mortar has changed, right? So as an industry veteran, what is your suggestions for marketers out there to cope up with these changing times?
See, first of all, I'm not a veteran yet. I've just started my journey. That's how I feel every day. So, but wherever I'm coming from is purely basis the experience that I've had working with the brand so far in my professional journey. But, and I'll come to the example that I wanted to quote, but to answer your question, it's the entire chain that needs to be fixed up. And the challenges like the centralization of data, and then, yes, of course, understanding the importance of the data acquisition in the right way. Personal information while you are acquiring that customer, or even the intent of the customer. I'm not saying somebody who's signing up on your web portal or your app, let's say, is not a customer yet, but they would be, they're your users. Are we asking them for the enough information that we need to create those conversations which will lead to conversion and long-term affinity to the brand? So that's another challenge that everyone should be. And see, marketers, people who are working for any particular brand, they know their data really well. They understand their customers much better than anybody else would ever know, right? I mean, they have access to so much information. So what you and I talking about is very broad, and I'm sure they would have their own challenges. But so far, I haven't come across, and everyone thinks in this direction. But so far, I would really love to. I mean, if there is any marketer out here and who feels that they have done a remarkably great job in this field, I would definitely love to get on a call with them and learn from them and understand how they have fixed it for their customers and for their company, right? Then near real time one-on-one communication. So collecting the data, feeding the data, ingesting the data, then creating those campaigns, personas and buckets of customers, and the communication creative, and then using the right channels to reach out in the right fashion. Everything, is it even possible, right? So near real time, we may talk about it, Jayesh, but the picture could be very different. Yeah. And then towards the end, having those right marketing matrix in place, because that will then lead to more meaningful conversations. But yes, I'll talk about the example. Again, it's a very simple use case. Let's say an airlines and you've booked a ticket, right? So far, in my personal experience of flying, uh, the maximum or maybe the 90% of the communication that I have received, one is the booking confirmation. Second is the information about the terminal, departure terminal or arriving terminal. And third, if there is any delays. And that's it. And fourth
Right.
communication is very transactional in nature, which is boarding pass,
Right.
which also happened during COVID era. Otherwise, earlier it was very different. Only these four kind of communicate. And then there is that regular sale, offer, mass communications going out to everyone put into the same bucket. That's different, right? But imagine what all can we do while now you booked your ticket, the airlines captured the data that Jayesh is flying from, let's say, Delhi to Goa or Bombay, and this is your age, and this is your flight time and day, right? Return flight is on certain date. But what next? There is no effort. There is not even an effort to capture more information about you. Now, they didn't ask you. Yes, while booking certain flights, they do ask for a meal preference. Great. I love that, but we can do so much more. While checking in, they would ask for your window seat preference, but that's a paid seat, right? Now, if you go back to the slide what happens when you are either, let's say, the day of the departure? Did the airline try to tell you that this is the gate? Okay, gate change information is very real time, and I've seen people often running around at the airport. Did they tell you that the gate change information in a near real time? By the way, there is no gate change information. Do they tell you the food court is just about 5 minutes away from the check-in counter? You go to the right and then take a left. Do they tell you where are the coffee shops, let's say Starbucks? Do they tell you that the temperature or something or the weather is this is how it is when you are landing in Goa, or exactly the same way what we talked about for a hotel? Even the airlines can take that step and try to engage you in a way that not only they benefit, but they can also kind of promote other partners as well. Imagine one of the airlines sending out a coffee voucher to you just while you are waiting to board. You are at the gate and there's a coffee shop nearby. Can they send out a let's say voucher to you? Okay, this coffee is on us because the flight got delayed. Something like that. Or here is a 50 rupees voucher for a sandwich. So things that basically we call them wow moments. Are the brands creating those wow moments using these data acquisition techniques? And these are all very simple to implement using technology. We all know that. There is no rocket science here anymore. Yes, I understand priorities could be very different for each brand. We are at a very different stage. And I'm only specifically talking about India right now. but I would really love to see and meet those people who do it. And the coffee or the beer is on me. So waiting for that. Yeah, on
Sure,
that,
sure.
yeah, Jayesh, I think have we covered everything that we wanted to cover in this?
Yes, yes, Vijay, that was truly amazing, and it's always a pleasure learning from you. And thank you so much for accepting to be on the show. And thank you everyone for joining in the first episode of the BizTech show. Uh, our theme here is to discuss major business challenges with a very to the point approach.
Yeah,
If
and
Yeah,
just to cut you short here, sorry for a second. I would definitely quote this data point from the MMA EY survey again. That this is as per the report, industry report. It's there on Google, but only 30% of the survey respondents believe that they used and activated personal level consumer data optimally. Only 30%, and that's where I'm coming from.
right,
60% organizations had gaps in their consumer data, leading to difficulties in the decision-making process.
right,
So this is where I'm coming from, and these are a few challenges that I think, as an ecosystem, marketing ecosystem, good for the entire fraternity and also for the end customers, consumers like us, that the brand should be taking up definitely in the coming year.
correct, correct. And this was seriously an amazing session for me at least, and I hope our listeners had something to take away from this session. So, uh, everyone, if you have any questions or you want Vision to help you in your business, just write us to marketing@vfirst.com, and we or Vijayant will get back to you before 21st of December. That's a promise from our side. With this, I would like to end this session here. I hope you all enjoyed having us and have a great week and weekend ahead. I'll see you soon in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. See you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.